Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. As always, we are here for the Alpha Scrims special, Group B. I'm your caster Snoopy, and joined by my side is Zeno Dactyl.
Hello. Well, we have some interesting players. I don't feel like I really know them as well as the previous group.
Yeah, I think there were more bigger names in the last group, but today we actually have. Let's go ahead and pull up the Wikipedia page here so everybody can see. We are currently doing Group B, which is Antis, Dynamite, Masa, and Zound, I guess. Masa, I think most people know, and then maybe Antis as well as I guess Dynamite. I haven't heard Zound as much. Have you?
Not a clue. I mean, I looked at his Wikipedia page and saw that he played in Pro League. Other than that, your guess is as good as mine.
Well, at least we'll find out today. But there's a good amount of I guess Korean, Chinese, Asian type players with just foreigners. It should be at least fun because there's one of each race at least. There's a Zerg and Terran and Protoss. So yeah, diversity in terms of matchup.
Cool.
And if you guys don't know, the format of this tournament is that we're gonna be playing kind of like a GS style kind of stage with the group stage, and then into the bracket. It's gonna be on the new balance test mod, as well as we're gonna be using the next season ladder maps, which is awesome because I have not had a chance to delve into the new ladder maps. So this will be kind of a first taste of plays on the new ladder maps. Have you actually tried out like the new ladder maps?
I have.
Oh, what? You have any general consent?
I really like Zen, which probably means other people won't like it. And I don't just mean that for like the memes that I do normally. Just in general, I like. So yesterday we actually saw Estrella try it, but I don't think I agree with the way he approached it. But he did try to take a very fast third versus Zerg on Zen.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had the right idea as to how to, or like, I think he's right that you should wall out over there if you're gonna take a fast third. It was just unfortunate that there were so many lings.
Oh.
And kind of hard to go back and forth between the two locations at the start.
Well, I guess we'll see how the players decide to do it. I know Australia yesterday, or in the Group A.
It's pretty innovative.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, guys, we were actually gonna start with Masa versus Zound first because that was up first, but looks like Masa. Oh wait, actually Masa, he just arrived here. Okay, he was a little bit late, so we're gonna actually start with the Antis versus Dynamite match first, and then we'll head into the Masa versus Zound. Looks like there's some controversy, or not controversy, I guess some debate of how to pronounce Zound's name. We have one person saying he thinks or assumed it was pronounced as Zone, and then Sunlily saying I think it would rhyme with noun, which is what the first thought came to mind for me when trying to pronounce his name, was that it kind of sounds like noun because his name is kind of spelled like that.
I also read it as Zound,
Yeah.
but I have never heard it said before, so
Yeah, we don't know, so we'll just go by Zound, I guess, for now. But anyhow, yeah, we have our first game pulled up on Ephemeron.
yeah, a diamond versus a grandmaster, or not even a diamond, a platinum versus a grandmaster.
Wow.
If we are to believe the loading screens. All right. Spawning in the bottom right as our red Terran, the platinum player. It is Dynamite.
Oh. And spawning at the top left, we have the blue Zerg player from Team Alpha X. Surely not platinum or diamond. It is Antis.
What actually is Dynamite's MMR on KR?
I think he's around. If memory serves me right, I think he's around maybe 6K.
Yeah.
I would assume so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Somewhere around that ballpark.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely not a platinum player.
You know what? I would bet he would not be a platinum player.
He probably just played like his 5 placement matches and then didn't touch it again.
I would probably be a platinum player in Korean ladder. I mean, Korean ladder, of course, is generally harder. So. And with the ping, the added ping.
Right. The ping definitely makes a difference. I still feel like it doesn't trail that much, except for some reason, Korean Zergs are crazy.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm like really affected by ping for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a stylistic thing? Do you rely a lot on micro?
Yeah, I would try. Yeah, try to.
Okay.
I mean, I know some people like are like kind of used to the ping. Like I know Pig, he's from Australia, but he plays a lot on the U.S. Western side. So he's playing like on different pings like all the time. So.
Reaper is picking at these lings and almost dies. Actually, gets a little too close to the queen for comfort. Drone has not become a third base yet because the SCV was patrolling, but now it do so.
So close. It's like one life right there on that Reaper.
Yeah, that Reaper. But it will regen its health over time and probably be on the map for a little bit longer. Oh, well, not if it dives in and gets trapped. Looking for tech, I guess.
Yeah, he wants to at least scout if there's like maybe a baneling nest with a, we know that baneling bus can be a thing, but it's gonna go ahead and see that there's no baneling nest, as well as no fast lair for any fast Nidus play.
Yeah, those are definitely still things that, like, even with the change, I think going for this quick third, you don't want to have to deal with like Queenling Flood all of a sudden.
Yeah, on the new balance patch, we do see that Nidus Swarms have a bit of a change. Used to cost, or currently cost 50-50 in terms of 50 minerals and 50 gas. But after the patch, it will be costing 75 minerals and 75 gas. And on top of that, you can't really stack the Niduses. So once you make the first Nidus Worm, you can't make another one until 14 seconds later. So that will at least help in terms of nice defense in the future.
Right. I think that is actually pretty sizable despite being like on paper. I don't think it will make much of a difference for like down where I am in Diamond. But up here I definitely think it does. That's buying you like 15 seconds here, 15 seconds there.
Yeah, for sure.
Hellions are poking the front, but they're not willing to dive just yet. Roaches are going to continue to zone them out. Is there no Spore Caller at the natural?
Apparently not.
Oh, okay.
But Stim is about to be finished. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have any Stim Marine drops or anything. But he does have a Liberate at the natural. Will get shut down rather easily.
Ah, okay. I guess 2 queens is going to be fine. The Ling does see the 3rd base. It wants to eat it, but that's a meal too large.
Oh my god, can you imagine a Ling eating a whole command center?
By itself? Oh no.
I mean, that is enough food ration for like 12 years or something. But oh boy, what is large is this large roach attack coming into the natural.
Huge tank on the high ground and no Ravagers to bile it, so takes a healthy amount of shots at the start, but he's nestled himself right into this mineral line.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get a kind of a two unit group, but unfortunately that did not pan out as well. Does lose a bunch of roaches, but Antis is not going all in on this. He's droning behind it, queued a lot of drones.
Okay.
So not too shabby of a defense there by Dynamite. Had the tank right in time.
High ground tank is so helpful.
Absolutely. And now Antis, he's gonna go ahead and try to macro behind this. Got the Baneling Nest as well as the Hydralisk Den. And oh my god, taking 2 additional hatcheries. He's taking some risks here.
I feel like he has to do something a little bit greedy economically after donating so much, as it were.
And it's also possible he might, in his mind, did more damage than he... I mean, in his mind, thinking that he did more damage with that attack, but... Oh boy, all these roaches getting decimated so quickly by these bio units.
Hydras are starting to enter the field, as are Baneling. So, leaving that Roach comp and trading it out for something a little more durable. Sorry, that's kind of a voice of words on that one. Something that will scale better.
Now, it's important to note that Baneling speed has not finished, not even close. So he's going to be playing with a bunch of slowed Banelings.
Yeah, and there's not a whole creep here either. So with this tank on the low ground, it's going to be very difficult to get a good engage on the bio.
Now, the good thing is that when you take multiple hatcheries like that, you can actually afford to lose one. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Antis decides to sack this base. But it looks like he's actually committed to defending against this. Baneling speed is about to be done, So you can buy enough time, but ooh, I think he just needs to go if he wants to save this. Baneling is getting on top of the right side Marine Marauder bio, but a lot of the Marines in the left side coming in.
I don't know if it was the right decision to try and save this.
Yeah, probably not. Looks like it's going to go down either way.
I liked the idea of him testing it, but I didn't feel like it was worth committing to. Like, if he can keep that dance going and buy time and get a better surround later, that might have been better. But he does have baneling speed now, but there are so many tanks tucked away where it's going to be very difficult for him to deal with.
Ooh, yeah, such great positioning by those tanks. Not the best spread, but I think it's still fine. Now he's starting to do the tank spread, which I love. And if Antis, or if Dynamite actually starts cutting off the roadblock between the natural and dirt, it's going to be tough. But it looks like Antis has set up a little bit of a flank. But is it enough?
He doesn't even get a tank for that, and that's going to be the end of game 1.
Alright, so well done there by Dynamite. First with the hold of against the roaches, and then with that tank marine push. And god damn it, look at that APM. 457 APM for Dynamite, 356 for Antis there.
I imagine Dynamite is in Korea, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah. Or maybe he's in China, I forgot.
Well, in either case, that's some ping coming over to what are we on? US West?
Mm-hmm. Yep. By the way, in between the games and before the game, actually, we had a bunch of activities. First, thank you 11 for the follow. We appreciate it. We're trying to increase our follow count on Twitch. So, if feel free, guys, if you haven't yet, just give us a follow. And then also Dust with the raid of a party of 3, right before the stream started, or the cast started. And then also thanks to CMG Backs for the follow as well. And here we go. We're going to game number 2 on one of the newer maps.
Spawning in the bottom right as the blue Zerg. For Alpha X, it is Antis.
And spawning at the top left, we have our red Terra player. He is Dynamite.
And so this map, I think, is very similar to our current map, Acropolis.
Yeah, I mean, design-wise, definitely.
Yeah, you have the linear third base options for the Zerg. You still have the ramp heading into potential third for Terran, but more likely a fourth base, just overall. And it's still even ground between the natural and the third, so there is more space in the main, so drops or Nidus or something like that could be slightly more annoying than before. And I do feel like there's a little bit more airspace around the bases than on Acropolis, but overall is very similar.
Certainly, at first glance, I think the one thing I do notice is that the main base seems to have a huge area. I mean, there's a lot of areas that you have to cover.
Yeah.
Even the Reaper jump place in the cliff.
Oh yeah.
It's huge. Like, you gotta use a lot of buildings just to close that off.
Right. You need like I want to say at minimum 2 3x3s. Like as opposed to Acropolis, it's just like 2x2 is sufficient.
We just got a few more followers. Camu-chan and also Thunder Junk 77. Thank you for the follow. Awesome.
Actually, technically on on Acropolis you can wall it with like a sensor tower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Rimper jump spawn is like super narrow. It's really funny.
Oh, okay. I've seen it walled off with supply depots, but never sensor tower.
Yeah, it's possible because it's only one hex.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think anyone's tried it, but why would they need to though? Like,
Yeah.
that would be a strange place for a sensor tower as. Unless you're really paranoid of doom drops in TVT. Anyhow, queens are at the front to zone out the 2 Hellions and Reaper. They just want to deny creep realistically. Oh yeah, there's the creep change.
Alright.
So active tumors cannot be cancelled, so this tumor is dead and there's no saving it on the side of Antis.
What do you think about that change?
I don't think it has much bearing for where like the majority of people play, but up here at like the pro level, I can see that having some impact, sure. I don't feel like it's such a small detail that it does affect the early game that we're seeing here. But it's hard to say how much of an impact that is in the grand scheme of things. Because like that has, and yeah, that's costing your queens a little bit more energy to get the same amount of creep spread. But your creep queens are just spreading creep anyway, so I don't know. Maybe that means there's one less transfuse at some point.
Well, definitely with 4 queens, creep spreading shouldn't be too much of a problem despite the creep tumor change. But that means Zerg won't be able to, of course, micro it. In the meantime, we do have Antis scouting with the Overseer. Does see the Fusion Core. Should note that the Battlecruiser is on the way. Gonna try to do a run by here at the Natural. Unfortunately, with the balance test mod, we can't get the WCS game hard to see how much or SCVs that was killed, but it looks like 4 total workers killed there by Antis so far.
Oh gosh, have they fixed the... Does Dynamite know about the bug?
I'm not sure. I mean, if he was watching... Yeah. I mean, hard to say if he was watching Home Story Cup.
Right. For those of you that don't know, essentially, the way it's supposed to work in this patch is that during teleport, the battlecruiser cannot be affected by, say, a yoink. But the way it is working is that the yoink is setting down for the battlecruiser regardless of whether it is in teleport or not. So Vipers right now are like hard counter to battlecruiser, which is a very strange idea, I think. I mean, like, it's always not been bad, because at least you can get a couple yoinks or try a parasitic bomb if there's enough of them.
Well, so far, I think there's a period of time where Dynamite doesn't have to worry about too much about Vipers, as there's no hive yet.
Yeah, he does have a high queen count, so he'll be safe for a while, provided he's not out of position like this. Hellions are going to run in on the other side while the main, but there are roaches to handle that.
Oh, I love that animation there.
Yeah, the animation is really... I think everyone has been happy with the way it looks, even though it's technically a nerf.
Yeah.
Like, even the Terrans that love battle cruisers are like, wow, this is a nice animation.
Yeah, it looks like lights up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. That's what Blizzard needs to do. Whenever something's being balance whined about being too imba, they just give it a small nerf, but change the animation so that it is better. So then the nerf seems like way better than before and everyone is happy.
Yeah. It's like a compromise. Hey, we'll make this look better, but you know, we'll just nerf it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so it looks like both players are actually getting a ton of late game buildings as well as upgrades. A lot of upgrades coming, as well as buildings for the late game, such as Hydralisk, Infestation Pit, and a lot of flyer upgrades as well for the air in terms of Antis. And Dynamite, he's just making more and more battle cruisers, getting the Inferno Pre-Igniter for the Hellions. Those were it used to cost 150, but it has decreased to 100 each, minerals and gas, so much easier to get those blue flames.
Okay. We'll also see the Lurker Den going down. I think once upon a time this would not even appear in this matchup, but distinctly against Mech. But with the way it works now, gosh, I don't even remember exactly what they changed other than it being actually good now.
Well, the Lurkers, they're faster to the... Oh, sorry, hold on. There's actually a big battle here. One battle cruiser is actually going down. Is this enough corruptors? I'm not too sure, but so far there's a lot of tanks in the back. Oh, actually the battle cruisers are going to go ahead and teleport back home, as there was a roach run by here. It does get cleaned up, and there is a huge flank by Antis to clean up these tanks, mitigating the splash damage. And oh, nice corrosive biles on top of those tanks.
And the Lings come in from behind as well, so that is not cleaned up entirely, but there's not a whole lot of push power left in Dynamite's forces here, and he's gonna back off before he okay, just taking a better call.
Yeah, in the meantime, he's gonna go ahead and send the battle cruisers up in the north side, as well as do a little bit of a Hellion run by into the third. That won't get too much damage done, but these battle cruisers might take down this hatchery here.
It opens up the reinforcement path, as now he can get a better positioning on his tanks, clear a creep tumor or two, and get to work on this hatchery some. The battle cruisers do appear to be falling to the corruptors. The Hydras and are there linked tanks? Yes. Okay. So in the end, Antis actually clears a lot of that, and I think that's overall puts him in a better position.
Yeah, for sure. But there is another big tank force coming into the south side, and 5 more tanks. Well, does he have enough to beat this? I think with another flank, one more flank, I think he might be possible. It might be possible, but again, this creep is just not too spread out, so it's gonna be a bit more tougher.
You know, these lurkers might change the element of this game a little bit into kind of like TVT tank wars. As I'm thinking about it, because lurkers are kind of zone-ish too.
Yeah, that's true. Although their range did get decreased by 1, so they're not as good. as the current lurkers. But they are
Gonna
faster
join
to
them
research. Yeah. That's one way to to make use of those lurkers.
Okay then. Viper, good unit. Hellions are going to get into the third. Drones here. And the Broodlords. Okay. With this, I think Dynamite is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, there's actually not a lot of anti-air here. No Vikings, no doors, not even any
He
cyclones
doesn't
as
even
well.
have the pieces that he started with, as those fell to the Corruptors. So really all he has are these tanks, and they're not going to do well against anything in this composition, aside from maybe the Hydras.
Yeah, if only tanks could shoot air. But
if only. They might need a new animation for that.
now the only thing that Dynamite can do is actually go ahead and do a counterattack while the Brewlers is on his side of the map. Try to buy some time to build those doors and anti-air units. But unfortunately,
Go ahead.
So basically, the door they do have less damage output compared to the current current state, but they do shoot a bit faster. So I'm not sure if it evens out or not.
The Broodlords also have less range.
That's true.
So in this engagement, the Thor actually outranges the Broodlord, as opposed to before, the Broodlords could kite the Thors.
Yeah, from my experience from watching, I feel like the doors are a bit better against Broodlords. Despite the, I guess the damage nerf. The attack damage nerf. But anyhow, we do have a attack here at the 8 o'clock position, but we'll back out as there is a planetary there.
It's actually a very even supply-wise game throughout the course of that. Just a lot of units dying on both sides over and over again. I guess he is sitting on like almost 6 bases at this point. For both of them actually, so they can fair amount. I'm just surprised that the Meching Terran has the production to handle all of this.
Yeah, I mean, considering this is such a large map, to have your mech army spread enough to make sure that you don't die, it's pretty impressive. Ooh, but making use of these lurkers. He's not making too much lurkers anymore, so he's gonna make use of it by just kind of harassing the bases.
Yeah, getting behind these mineral lines is really nice. He can get rid of a lot of mining time, force a lot of unit movement just for a single unit of his own. And the scan, of course. Alright, getting his lurkers on this ramp here, he's going to kind of force an engagement. The lift happens, and nice yoink on the Thors. They're all getting eaten by the Hydra. This is looking really dicey for Dynamite. He does have a high ground tank still, that can also be yoinked down. Well, assuming he has Vipers to go. Did they die to the Thors? I think that's what happened. Anyway, he clears like 2 bases already.
Yeah, and kills a bunch of workers as well.
Yeah, so this is a fantastic trade for him. But tanks are going to secure the ramp and save Dynamite from certain doom. He cannot afford to have his production camped. There is a Nidus trying to get up, but oh, actually it does get up. Nothing's in it though, so psych.
Yeah, I think he's busy trying to defend these Hellion run-bys, but boy, he's Antis has definitely made use of the big, large map and kind of abused the mobility, because as strong as Mecha is for Terran, they're kind of slow, so he's been able to outmaneuver Dynamite here and take a bunch of bases. Might possibly take down this 8 o'clock base as well.
SCV repair is not going to be enough for this planetary, and the tanks are well, I'm not sure where they're going. Perhaps they will come back to deal with this Nidus going up in front of his natural. There are Hydras pushing here as well, so this is likely to get up. And out come more units. The Terran has decided to just push the Zerg, kind of opting for a little bit of a base trade scenario. Not exactly, but it doesn't feel that going home is going to help him right now. He may lose his third base, or I don't see him saving this. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, such a great blinding cloud on the top of those tanks, but it doesn't even matter. The third was under siege, and Antis with a nice little win here to tie up the series.
Okay. How do you feel about Dynamite's decision to go mech that game?
I feel like not the greatest. I don't like mech on that map specifically because of how spread out the bases are and such a wide. It's one of those maps that has a really wide space area, so a lot of concaves and flanks are available for the tanks to execute. We saw yesterday in Group A, we saw Vindicta. Despite losing the game, he made really good use of the marine drops and I guess the bio drops, kind of abusing the hugeness, the largeness of that map. So I would have loved to see Dynamite do that instead.
I see. All right. Well, in the bottom left, as the blue Zerg representing Alpha X, it is Antis.
And spawning at the top left, or top right, it is the red Terran player. I think he's from Alpha X. It is Dynamite. Oh wait, Dynamite left our team, right?
Yes, he went to
right.
Black Knight, I think it was.
Yeah. I think he left in August or something.
I think he's currently teamless. I want to say he left Black Knight after that as well, like super recent.
Okay, because I was confusing him with the Breaking GG because we recently.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so this is one of the newer maps, and this is the exact base that you were talking about. How you could get the dirt base or the natural.
Right. I don't think going out of order for the bases is necessarily advantageous, other than some mind games. But I do think that the third, it's very narrow actually between the tower and the ramp wall. So there's some potential to wall that quicker and then take a quicker third as a result. So if he wants to go for something similar to game one, it might turn out decently here.
Oh, that Reaper was not being paid attention to. Does lose it to the couple of Lings, and these Lings might actually get a cancel on this command center. You might have to actually pull.
Good SCV pull is going to complicate this, but the Marine still goes down, and the SCV is still building. Well, not the same SCV, but an SCV is.
Yeah, that could have potentially been scary because you don't want to lose a lot of SCV in this stage of the game.
I think that losing that Reaper was actually to his advantage because it gave him some warning to pull the SCV. I think if the Reaper gets to the other side of the map and then the Lings show up, that may not have gone as well.
Looks like the game has stabilized. It wasn't a quick all-in from Antis. It was just to harass. Luckily for
just some quick Ling pressure.
Yeah. And now it has kind of gone into the kind of a regular game here. We got the 1-1-1 build from Dynamite coming out. This is such an interesting change from like other maps where the minerals are actually used to block the ramps area. Usually we see a rocks doing that, but changing up, adding some mineral lines instead.
Yeah, I do think that there are some potentially good cheeses that exploit that as well. And I haven't really figured out what any race is like. If Zerg brings 5 drones with a 12 pool, for example, and one of the drones becomes an extractor on the close gas, then mines the mineral patch, trades it out for gas, mines again, then the wall falls. Like, even if you have a building there.
Yep.
So I'm not really sure how that's supposed to be handled, but I guess we'll just have to see it tried a couple times and people do their own thing to deal with it.
Oh, this is one way to abuse it.
Oh yeah.
That Roach Warren unfortunately will go down.
I mean, there's problems on both sides. Natural tanks and bio at the front of the Zerg space as well. That tank is going to be very difficult to route. Perhaps the Lings can come back and handle it, while this is far to travel. They still have to kill the SCVs.
Oh, that is a lot of SCVs going down. Ooh.
Okay, he has enough Lings now. He'll be able to defend. Meanwhile, Terran is not in the best position. Many SCVs have died. He has a Banshee and some Hellions that are going to shoo the rest of this away.
Yeah, I mean...
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I think he might have done better if his depots had been connecting this doodad to the mineral jettison, as that does wall diagonally.
Ah, okay.
Both the doodad and the minerals.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So he had 3 depots, is what I'm getting at, and 3 depots is enough to close this. So then he would have only had the front to worry about.
Yeah. But now, I mean, Antis is like almost double the amount of harvesters, as well as the extra base ahead. Although it might actually go down to these 2 Banshees, there's actually nothing to defend against these. The Queens are trying to... Well, I guess they're not actually moving, so I guess he's gonna actually just sack it.
Yeah, I mean, they're just never gonna get there in time. Yes, they have a lot of range, but they don't have a lot of speed.
Yeah, unfortunately there was not enough creep for them to even move towards that base. Instead, it looks like he's going to take the other base here at the bottom next to the Baneling nest. It's going to be interesting to see how Zergs or even Terrans and Protons decides which base to take.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first 3 bases are pretty standard for all races, but then after that, the Banshees are going to get another cancel on that base and just continue to swing around. There are Hydras popping out, and they are heading into the main to contest the Banshees. Don't think you want this. Okay, well, that died.
We call a donation right there.
Yeah. Okay, mining out the minerals so that he can move his forces back over to this 4th base. 5th base, I don't know. I can't count at this point. One of his many bases.
The millionth base. Oh my god, get cancelled once again.
Bye-bye, Overlord.
Oh man, I like this. Antis is like, you know what? My bases keep getting canceled. I'm just gonna throw down a bunch of hatchery. At least one of them will survive.
Yeah, he's like, he's decided that the Terran must play whack-a-mole, if anything.
Jesus, this 3rd base is gonna take so much buildings just to wall off here.
I mean, I want to say that there is a way to get it without too much. Like, technically, as Terran, I don't think he needs a wall in the front. He can wall from the tower to the CC itself.
I have a funny feeling like people will be taking like ninja bases on this map.
Oh, maybe.
Oh wow, nice connection on the Banelings. Cleans up the rest of the tanks. This Overseer finally coming in through. And I think he just barely has enough, although the Banshees will stay alive as all the Hydralisks does get cleaned up. And now Antis is going to go on the offense. But does he have enough? It seems like maybe. Will he? Nope, he does not commit to it. He's going to go ahead and just back out.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, I can see ninja bases working like considerably well here. With the pathing is kind of like profiled to the same side that so like your units are mostly going to be moving along the direction of your expansions. So if someone spawns like in the top and they take like the 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock position as a ninja base, that's gonna take some time to deal with.
Yeah, with Magic Zone. Oh, we have a nice little drop here at the north side, and I don't know if it's going to be taken out. The reinforcement are coming here to defend, but there is another attack at the bottom as well. Looks like a nice split there by Antis in anticipation, and thus force Dynamite to retreat. And he is starting to make those Ultralisks. I believe Ultralisk has 1 less armor, if I'm correct, or is that from a different patch I'm remembering?
I don't remember.
Actually, yeah, I don't think there was an Ultralisk change. Never mind. sorry guys, there's so many balance change notes that I gotta remember. Like you know, sometimes I can't remember them all. So I'm trying my best here to remember all the notes.
All right, this bio is running in. Pick up and lose a medevac and retreat. Banelings and all.
Oh my god.
Nice on those SCVs.
That is quite a lot of SCVs. Currently, we have 48 SCVs going down this game. Not the things you want to have lost. But we do have an attack here by Dynamite. He's got to be careful though. There is a kind of a flank play that Antis can do as his main force is retreating back home. Oh, actually, you know what? Not too shabby. Did take the base down. And I think he has just enough Marines to possibly take on this unit force. But we do actually see a lot of units being split off to the right side as well.
Yeah, with the reinforcements coming in, I think he has to like at least back off somehow. But where is his retreat path? Oh, okay. There isn't a clean one. He will lose a medevac for his engagement, as it were.
Alright, the Ultralisk armor upgrade about to be finished. I think he might actually start attacking the dirt base, although there is a Bio Force coming to one of his expansions. Nice splitting. There's actually another Marine Force at the top as well. I like this.
Okay, Zerg is not in position for this smaller force as was occupied on the other half of the map.
Oh, and he's actually going to pull a lot of his army out of position as Dynamite tries to get this set up. Although he doesn't have a lot of tank, no medevacs as well. A lot of these Valiants are injured.
Yeah, Stim is hurting himself more than it's hurting his opponent with the lack of medevac support.
Yeah, I mean it's really tough because you only have a limit. I mean he only has a limited amount of starports, so he's got to decide whether to make medevacs or liberators to counter the Ultralisk.
Right. Oh, I think he misclicked.
Yeah, he killed his own Widowmine there.
Again, Lings are going to run into the third and the natural. Nice burrow, going to save some of them for a rainy day. And this drop is gonna come find this base that is really... Okay, it's just gonna be cancelled. I was gonna say, it's not really a good way to defend that just yet, as he doesn't have a whole on this area just yet.
Alright, drop commencing into the main base. Not a lot here, as all the mineral patches have been mined. But we'll at least... Oh, actually, lose a few units there as one of his medevacs did get sniped down. And
there's a push coming up the center right as well. And Ultras are here to hemorrhage the damage, or to stop the hemorrhaging, I should say. But I think he's okay. It looked a little bit scary for like half a second as most of his forces were dealing with the push itself. A lot of action going on right now.
yeah, so much attack and defending across the map. Both players are splitting their units really, really well.
Yeah, Lings are gonna run into the natural-ish area again. It's coming for the third. Third has to be lifted. SCV's falling. Right. There was a push somewhere. I don't know. I think it got cleaned up.
Meanwhile, Ant is going to go ahead and attack this at 3 o'clock base. Oh my gosh, so many red units. Oh, that is food for thought for those Ultralists. Everything gets cleaned up, and I think that might be GG.
Wow, that got crazy towards the end.
Yeah, that. You know what? It was an 18-minute game, but it felt like so much longer for some reason. Just so much action across the map.
I feel like until people really start to map out Zen, it's gonna be pretty Zerg favored at first. Like, it's easier for Zerg to abuse this map than for Terran or Protoss to like figure out their building placement and actually balance it, as it were.
Yeah, I think walling off will be a strong point on that map.
Right. How well you can place your buildings matters there more than a lot of other.
All right, so that makes it 2-1 in favor of Antis. He will move on to the winners versus winners match. And then now we have the upcoming match, which will be Masa versus Zaun. And we'll get started as soon as the players complete their map veto process.
Cool. While they're doing that, you have probably heard us mention a time or two that 24-Hour Fitness has studio classes at many of their locations. But have you heard about what you can do at these classes? They have strength, cardio, yoga, and also cycling, pool, and Pilates classes. They even have dance and martial arts classes. Their programs are available or vary by location, so check out your local 24-Hour Fitness and see what is on their schedule that will fit into yours.
Yeah, go ahead and check them out.
Yeah, I know that they also have something called Body Combat, which is kind of like it's like a martial arts class that's like calibrated for like cardio.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway.
All right. So, let's see here. Triton will be our first map for the series. By the way, guys, you don't want to miss tomorrow, as tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time here at the Alpha X SE2 channel, we will be doing the semifinals and finals of the Alpha Scrim special here to complete it and see who will go home with the first place prize of $100. Second place gets $60, and the third and fourth place gets 15 or 20 if I recall correctly.
Oh man.
Guys, there's also a Maturino link as well as code. As you can see in the Nightbot has posted in the chat. You can just type in the AX Scrims special code to donate 50 cents for free to the prize pool. I'm sure the players will definitely appreciate it. And also, thank you, Koba SC, for the follow. getting close to 600 followers.
That was pretty funny for a second. 11 was about to play me.
Oh.
Had to quickly abort in order to save his
His mistake
well,
there.
yeah. There we go.
Yeah, it's would have been funny for sure. It's like, hey, cannon rush. Surprise!
Spawning.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Spawning in the bottom right as the red Terran. For Alpha X, it is the Canadian Terran Masa.
And at the top left, we have the blue Protoss. His name rhymes with noun. It is Zound.
Were you going to say something before intros?
I actually forgot right now.
Okay.
Probably something insignificant, but anyhow, we do have a proxy Rex out in the middle. Does not get spotted by the Protoss here, the probe.
I think this is kind of typical of Masa. I think he really likes his proxies. He doesn't always do something super committed, but sometimes he does, and just because there's a proxy, you have to respect it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just remembered. I was going to say, surprisingly enough, speaking of cannon rushes, I haven't seen any cannon rushes throughout this whole tournament thus far, which is weird. Well, I guess
think so?
Not weird. I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like it's kind of rare to see at the top.
Yeah, I guess we see a lot in the, lower leagues, with maybe Masters Diamond, Platinum. That
Yeah, I mean, even at GM, there's enough of them. It's just that like the pro scene, you really don't see it, with the exception of like you can probably name on one hand.
yeah.
Of pros that will even consider cannon rushing. And then of that is like, how many games are they actually cannon rushing? Not many.
Well, we had like a 2 PvP series in the Group A, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
And one of them was on Winter's Gate, I think, yeah?
Mhm.
Or no, they could have been for this. That's not in this map pool.
But I guess it was Australia and Chance. Chance. But
Right.
I guess they don't really cannon rush a lot. So
I have never seen Estrella cannon rush.
yeah.
I don't know anything about Chance. Alright. Getting his Stalker on the rally so that he can stop the units from getting into the bunker. Until then, he's just going to have to take some consistent damage. Getting the shield batteries at the natural from the high ground pylon, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh my goodness, he's gonna land this barracks in the main. Oh, Masa. Gets the SCV, so there's no more repair potential, which means that he should not be able to get the Nexus with the shield batteries and stalkers here. And he's just gonna give up his bunker. Gonna be salvaged. Loses the Marines, but in a moment there will be more Marines.
Inside the base.
Yeah. I think he's gonna wait till like 4 Marines and then reveal this.
Yeah.
And then Zound is gonna be feeling like he's back in gold or something. It's really funny with cheeses. There's a number of tricks to cheeses that, in and of themselves, they're like kind of by themselves they're gimmicky. Oh, he's just gonna go with tumor.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be just the right timing to pull the units, but nicely for Zan, he did not actually send his whole army to the main, which allowed him to defend against the Cyclones. Nice, cute play by Masa. Unfortunately, didn't work out as well as he could have or hoped for.
So there's a number of cheeses that they're like kind of gimmicky at the lower levels, but then as you move higher up and you couple it with something like the Cyclone and the Banshee, then it's like actually a fair amount of multitasking. So like it's funny how things like go away and then come back.
Yeah,
Just like better.
Yeah, I mean, when you cheese like that, it's always nice to have a follow up. So you know, Masa, you know, he cheesed with the proxy Rex, followed it up with a Cyclone attack, but then didn't work. But then he followed it up with a Banshee harass, and I mean, currently so far, Zan is doing a really nice job defending. So gotta give him props.
Yeah, in spite of the completeness or the amount to which Masa is navigating this with various stages, Zan is matching him step for step.
And especially since Zan opened up with a Stargate, it's more difficult to defend against Banshee harass with Stargate, and he has managed to do that. He's been able to defend pretty well. Got the shield batteries in the mirror lines to deflect against those Banshees.
You think it's harder to deal with Banshees on Stargate?
I feel like when when the Protoss goes for Stargate, they have limited amount of detection because Orcos, you know, they're not ongoing. You need to use energy.
I see.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Robo, you can have the Observer, which will be you know, permanent detection, which is what I'm referring to. Sometimes there's games where it gets shut down easily with the Stargate opening, but then, like, you know, you got to create more Orcos. If the Terran players create more Banshees, you got to revelate over and over and over. You just basically got to make sure you have enough revelation for the oncoming Banshees.
I see. So you're just talking about the energy demand, as it were.
Yeah, basically the detection, the limited amount of detection that the Orcos can give you. But luckily for Zan, Masa didn't go full on Banshees, and he was able to defend it once again. He's just been defending everything so well so far.
So would you like to see a safety cannon on one of these sides just for like some buffer?
I think he's fine with the shield batteries and the Orco.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the shield battery does negate single Banshee pressure.
Yeah, it gives him enough time for him to fly over the Phoenix and the Orcos to help defend.
He does spot this push that is coming up the center here, and he does have charge. It's not what it used to be, but it looks to be enough.
Yeah, the Widow Mines actually worked against his Marines there, and all those lifts, those were some money lifts.
Yeah, really nice control with the Phoenixes and the force fields as well.
Oh, but actually a nice little backstab here by these two Banshees, getting a few probes, which is nice, but finally loses it.
So I guess that's why I was curious why you felt Stargate was weaker, because I feel like once you have both the Oracles and the Phoenix to tag, you can chase them.
Yes. For sure, and but looks like a big counterattack by Zan. He is down. Oh, he actually evens up the worker count, which is really nice. But yeah, Zan with the massive army supply lead, and GG. Zan will take game number 1. So that is the first game I've ever seen of Zound, and I gotta say, I'm surprisingly impressed. Just well defended there. All right, looks like second game will be on the map of Ephemeron. We'll see if Masa has better luck here.
Alright. Spawning in the upper left as the blue Terran. It is the Canadian. It is Masa.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have the red Ro8 player with an impressive defensive play last game. Can he close it out? It is Zound.
Oh, should I expect anything different?
No, you shouldn't, because once again, the proxy has been executed.
Alright. We'll have to see if this plays out similarly to last game. I think, like, unless Zound really is familiar with Masa, he's probably not expecting it a second game in a row.
I guess he's Masa's just living by the phrase, if it at first it doesn't succeed, just try again.
Or this is a live by the cheese, die by the cheese thing.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not one to say don't do this. I would have to reconsider my own playstyle if that were the case. Alright, we're gonna get a couple of Reapers to start things off. Factory has gone down to complete the wall at home, so Zound won't get a probe scout in the main. Reaper getting a swipe on the... or Zealot getting a swipe on the Reaper. I said that backwards. But it's still plenty fast, and we'll get away until the Stalker comes over to... it's okay. Bye, Reaper. It was a nice life.
Well, at least he got, I guess, one probe, but definitely could have saved it if he...
Yeah, not committing to the bunker this time. I think that's a good adaptation from the previous game.
Oh god, we have... Oh!
And Zound is going to drop the pylon. Gets zapped.
Yeah, he's like, you know, the first time you got me, shame on me. If it happens the second time, shame, or I guess shame on you. And then the second time, if it happens again, shame on me. But luckily, was able to scout that little sneaky play once again.
Yeah. Good counter steps. Feeling out his opponent a little bit more, and I think it's like this is still something that is probably par for the course for Masa. Like he must do this a lot anyway.
All right, looks like the game has slowed down once again, opening up with a Stargate for Zound. It did work out really well for him last game, so not surprised there. I expect a Oracle to be made first. And there we have it. First Oracle on the way.
Alright, we are gonna get the Cyclones and the Banshees as well. So, still very similar to the previous game, just cutting to that mid game a little bit sharper on both sides. Reaper grenade. And just gonna back off. Oracle does come out and starts its course across the map and should be harassing it in a couple seconds.
It's gonna get a little bit dicey here as there is actually no anti-air for the Oracle, but then as well there is the Oracle's across the map, so the Banshees might get some few pot shots. But luckily for Zound, actually he has some shield battery, so that should buy him some time against the Banshee. Oh, the Oracle almost go down to that Cyclone there.
Yeah, just gonna recall it so that he has it at home for the Banshee when it gets here. And taking his third.
Okay, looks like this time around Masa has decided not to attack with the initial Banshee. I'm not sure if... Yeah, I think he scouted the Oracle, so I guess he decided not to. I thought he was gonna actually wait for the second Banshee in order to go in for and then get some probes, because there's actually two Banshees can one-shot a probe, so it kind of negates the shield battery there. But yeah, both players just reading each other and kind of reacting really well. Really nice play by both players. Alright, so we do see the charge coming in. I think that's one of the main
changes.
Yeah, the main changes to this new balance patch. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of curious. It's like a nerf and a buff at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to say whether it was a complete nerf or a complete buff.
I think it just makes Charizard all-ins not as good, and then gives a little bit more power to Charizards in late game.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how it affects charge defensively though, because like having charge is very useful in stopping tank pushes in particular. And we saw him with the charge clean up this push previously. I don't know what different, like I it's not like we've seen them play before the patch, so can't like cite some other game between these two players as reference. That,
Yeah.
oh, he would have defended or not defended.
Oh wow!
Well, this is great positioning on these tanks, but they are it up and the fourth down. I think these force fields are hurting the charge lots now.
Yeah, there was some great lifts, but now all the charge lot has been cleaned up. More charge lot being more thin, but there is still a big strong push here with SCVs.
I feel like Masa backed up in that ramp area, and that made it so that it was no longer correct for Zound to, even though he made the best of that fight, I don't think he should have taken.
Oh man, now there's just a few Archons. Immortal's actually going to go ahead and get on top of the tank, which is really nice. Oh wow, actually, is he defending against this?
Okay though.
Yeah.
And he cleans it up all the same, so... Okay. Alrighty, charge slots are still good at holding tank pushes. That's my assessment.
That That was crazy because it looks so in favor of Masa as his tanks were getting set up in the natural area. I did not think that Zhang was actually going to defend against that, but he managed to do that. He got 3 Archons, got the Immortal to get on top of the tank, and was able to clean it out.
Yeah, he also did have 1 Phoenix left over, so it was able to lift the tank in the middle so that the Archons and the Immortal could close the distance a bit better.
Ah, I see. Nice, nice. So well done there by Zhang with a impressive 2-0 win, and we'll be going up against Antis in our winners versus winners match.
Alright, so I guess they'll do their vetoes now.
Yep.
Well, I told you about 24-hour fitness. Let me also tell you that just like in traditional sports, your performance in esports is greatly affected by the quality of the equipment that you use to compete. Your controller, keyboard, mouse, headset, and whatever other fancy gadgetry you use can decide whether you fulfill your dreams or instead they let them become memes. If you are looking to upgrade your equipment to bring more power to your game, then check out GameStop. GameStop is the top destination for all your esports needs. Go to GameStop.com/high performance to find the top headsets, controllers, mice, and keyboards to enhance your competitive advantage.
Yeah, go ahead and check them out. Show them some love. And thank you. Okay, hopefully I don't butcher this pronunciation. So young, for their follow. I appreciate it. We're getting close to that 600 follower mark, which is awesome. Alright guys, looks like they're about to finish the veto process. We'll get started as soon as we got the lobby set up here. But guys, remember we have the semifinals and the finals coming up tomorrow in order to conclude this tournament. Currently we have, as you can see, Cham and Australia made it through to the semifinals. And then the remaining 2 will come from today, Group B. And here's the prize pool breakdown if you guys want to check it out.
Oh, we're doing the losers match first?
Oh, I guess seems so.
Okay.
Why not?
All right, so we got a TVT upon us here. And here we go.
Spawning in the bottom right is the blue Terran. It is Dynamite.
And spawning at the top left is the red Terran player from Alpha X. It is Masa. Oops, got the wrong name intro. Let me go ahead and fix that here. There we go.
Oh, these SCVs are quite adventurous.
Yeah, I feel like they're just, like to build things, One of them is named Bob, and you know the show, Bob the Builder. They just like to build things, whether it's outside your house or in the valley. They just build stuff.
I see, I see. Do you suppose they'll be building more things?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I don't see them building is the baby, but I think they can build a lot of things. They could build cars called Hellions. They could build ships called Banshees. And they can build people called Marines.
Ah. Okay, okay. What about people called Reapers?
You know what? I think the buildings make those. I don't think they actually make Reapers.
Okay. We are gonna get a tech lab, so Marauders a thing here? I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely Marauders. Those
Yeah, I'm not
beefy.
as familiar on TBT cheesing.
It's one of those things where it could be really snowbally or it could be held really really hard.
I see.
Yeah, I mean it depends on how the player responds. But with this factory, I'm not sure that's. This could be a bit dicey because there is the expansion as well. There's no bunker on the way. Only just Marines, and Marauders does really well against Marines and Reaper. I mean, these Marauders are really, really beefy with the concussion shells on the way as well. I mean, these Marauders work out at 24-hour fitness, guys. They are really
Man.
strong. They got those
Look at
bold
that.
shoulders.
Well, that's stalled indefinitely. Can't even close this as add-on just yet. Gonna get some SCVs and okay, well, I think Bob just died. But this is definitely gonna have to be canceled. There is a mine out, so he can't really go back up this ramp unless he decides to pull Alpha Star and
Oh, actually, I like this. This barracks is gonna give high ground vision. See that there is a is he gonna walk into the water mine? I think
he
yeah.
must see the hex. Of
Yeah.
Oh, and he gets the SCV trying to build the bunker. He can shoot the bunker still too, because the Marauders have so much health. Oh, okay, that works. Yeah. Just send the weak Marauder and. Okay, well, this is going from bad to worse as the. Oh, if he forces the SCV away and then re-lands his racks on the tech lab, that would be the ultimate insult in that scenario.
Oh my God, those SCVs cannot repair the starport as the building placement didn't allow him to circumvent the SCVs. I think it would have been better to mineral patch the SCVs through so it could.
Yeah.
Because his bio units were actually blocking the SCVs from getting the surface area to repair that starport. He was waiting for that Banshee. That Banshee could have at least, possibly held in time, but he would have lost a lot either way.
Well, that's a really sharp cheese there.
Yeah. So again, one of those TBT cheeses where it either snowballs really hard or it gets defended really hard.
Just slightly too much greed from Dynamite.
And you can't be greedy against Bob the Builder. That's a no-no.
Hey? What happened here? Thought I clicked accept. Okay, we're in. Problem solved. Thank you, 11, for adminning.
Yeah, shout out to 11 for adminning this tournament. It's very difficult to get all the players present and ready, as well as the casters. So he's been doing a great job adminning. All right, so this might possibly be the last game for one of these players, as whoever loses this series will go home empty-handed. Only the top 4 players of this tournament goes home with a prize pool. So, at the very least, you want to make it to the semifinals.
All right. Well, spawning in the upper left as the blue Terran, it is Dynamite.
And spawning at the right, the bottom right, it is the red Terran player from Alpha X. It is Masa.
Are you sure about that? Because where did Bob go?
Oh, where did he go? I think he retired. I think his last game was so successful. He had a big payday and was able to retire.
Maybe he's just on vacation. Like they paid him extra to take a couple extra days off.
Ah, yes.
And perhaps he'll be back next year.
We hope he returns.
Do you have the overlay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I recently, in the past month or so, have added a second monitor in order to make sure I don't mess up on overlay stuff. So it's been really helpful.
I see. You checked it like just after.
Yep.
All right. That does sound like something that would simplify the process.
Yeah. I know Captain Canuck also added a second monitor, or has a second monitor, and he says it's been really helpful as well.
You know, I think Dynamite is using Times Defense. So, Time will open with this 2 Rax Reaper from home, just so that he can defend the 2 Rax Reaper proxy from Maru.
Oh.
And so, by having his own 2 Rax Reaper, yes, he's setting himself slightly behind against the most greedy of plays, but he still has some pressure potential, and, well, not if you lose your Reapers like this, but, you know,
This
it's
might...
like a safety check, as it were.
But boy, I think this might possibly snowball. He's got 2 Hellions. Oh my god, so red light there. Oh, nice micro. Oh, does not save one of the Hellions, but it doesn't matter. He still has 2 Reapers and a Hellion left over, and those Reapers are gonna regenerate their life. And I'm not sure if this command center might actually have to be canceled or not.
Yeah, I don't think he can get down there. Any attempt that would be made is... Well, okay, he can pull SCV on this Hellion! I don't know about this. There's another Hellion. SCVs. Okay. That's that then.
Yep, Massa takes a quick game number 2 and will secure the series 2-0. Unfortunately for Dynamite, his tournament hopes are dashed and he will go home empty-handed. But at least for Massa, he will at least keep his tournament hopes alive, and possibly if he wins the ace match, advance to the semifinals. But we'll see who will win the winners versus winners match. That shall be up next. That will be a game between Zaun, versus Antis. And 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 Zaun, versus Antis.
Do you think Masa is rooting for Zaun after how their first series went, or do you think he wants revenge?
You know what? That's a good question. I feel like it could be either way, but I mean, Zaun was just so impressive that last game. I mean, if he wants personal revenge, then possibly he wants Zaun. But then if he wants to, make it further into the tournament, I feel like. But then Antis is such a strong opponent too, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Have we seen them play before? Because they are teammates, but like, I can't recall them facing off in MVP or something.
Yeah, I can't recall too.
Okay, so.
Well,
not
I guess.
much track record to go off of yet.
Yeah, I mean, Masa has been a recently new addition to the Alpha X, so I don't think they have many chances to play against one another.
I think they only had one tournament so far.
Yeah.
And then I don't think Antis shows as regularly as some of the other dragons to MVP.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks like I missed a message from 11. He said Masa has another tournament, so that's why we had to do the losers first.
Oh.
That explains it. But either way is fine.
It's been a really busy weekend. Like yesterday there were a ton of things, and then there's Home Story Cup going on, and then it's been kind of like, for me, for example, I played in SDO, Potato, and then the Recall.
Recall?
Yeah,
Oh.
So they're all like Diamond and Under tournaments, and there were
okay.
like 3 of them all in the span of 24 hours.
Jesus. Yeah, it's been actually a really busy week for Alpha X in general. There's a lot of events and team leagues that we participate in, and yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep getting like new events and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, how are we able to handle this? I mean, we have a lot of amazing officers and community officers, so
I'm sure 11 will be happy to hear that.
By the way, congrats to our RSL team, the Russian StarCraft 2 League. We made it to the semifinals, which hopefully we can win and make it to the finals. That's of course led by our RSL captain Sunlily. So congrats to their team for making it to semifinals, and hopefully we can go further. And then also, of course, also congrats to Snap XD who won the Diamonds Potato League yesterday, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm sure that feels good after some inactivity. I think he was busy with life things and just getting back on the saddle, as it were.
I wonder, do you win some type of potato meal from winning it? I think that should be the prize. Yeah. I know the pizza. There was the pizza.
The pie bi-weekly.
Yeah. They win the pizza.
They order a pizza for you.
It's like, here's a McDonald's or Burger King gift card. You can get yourself up some French fries.
Yeah. All right, spawning in the bottom right as the Blue Zerg from Alpha X. It is Antis.
Oh, let me change the overlay and update the score. All right, Antis, there we go. And at the top left, we have the red Protoss. He is Zaun. All right, so both these players have shown some impressive games thus far. It's going to be a really interesting matchup. Both seems to be on top of their game today. And again, no cannon rushes.
We don't actually know very much about Zounds, though. It's not out of the question. It's just not we just don't know anything about him, really.
Actually, so I think with the recent Zella and Adept changes, I feel like we might possibly get some either more all-ins or timing attacks from Protoss in PvZ. Have you done like, because I know you like you have like the 8-gate charge lot build in your sleeves. But have you tried the Adept kind of push all in against Zerg?
I used to do that a good bit as well. I haven't tried it on the balance patch for this matchup. I was trying an 8-gate semi all-in pressure-ish build for PvT. I feel like my thoughts are that Hearthstone 5-gate Gladept might be good for this matchup, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like semi. I mean, it's a kind of a push, but it's not totally all in.
It doesn't have to be an all-in depending on how you play it. Yeah, it has that kind of potential, but it depends how you navigate it and what the Zerg does. But I think that might be good here. So essentially what I'm getting at is I don't feel that the Glaives pairs well with, say, I don't think adding Glaives onto something like a Soul Train is a very good way to use the Glaives, because the Glaives doesn't benefit standing Adepts. But it does benefit Adepts committing to their shade.
Yeah.
So if you have a build that wants to attack the mineral line, then I can see that, and is not also purely dependent on completing your shade. Like, has some other direction to take the game, so is not very it does not have to be an all-in. I think that's has some potential. We are gonna get some Lings pushing the here. There is a Stalker and a Shield Battery and Prism and Adepts, so this is with Blink.
Yeah, interesting enough, he actually researched Blink, so it's gonna be a 4-gate Blink timing.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh my god, did he research the wrong upgrades or something?
I think he believes he has Glaives. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake there. Unless he's just faking with these Adepts.
No, I think he researched the wrong upgrade.
Oh man, that is not good.
So I like the idea of this build on paper. Well, okay, maybe now not so much. But I think if he had Glaives, and he had the 4 gateways and applied pressure, he can get the pressure, take his third, and he's okay.
Oh wait, you know what? Now that I'm seeing him adding
He's adding gateways.
Yeah, that Blink might.
I think that's because he realized he researched the wrong thing.
But it's not too bad, because you force the roaches in production with the Adepts, faking that you have the Glaives upgrade, and then
I see.
Yeah, and with blink, you can actually blink against the roaches much is better, you know. So I think
So maybe it's
possibly,
not.
yeah, it's probably actually on purpose.
I don't know. maybe.
Because you know you don't want to with the glaive of depths harass. You know you don't want him to make lings. You know it's gonna force the Zerg player to make roaches instead,
That's true.
which blink stalkers are better against.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess he navigated that faster than like realizing that, oh, I don't have what I thought I have.
Yeah, but looks like the energy on the sentries are getting low. So Zan, he's got to be careful.
This is some peculiar people. I do remember Blink Immortal being a thing in this matchup, but when was that? When did Arium play?
I think was really popular during maybe the parting Soul Train days in HOTS.
Dodging the bile's alright, and he doesn't have much force field energy anymore. Gonna shade again. That's a good split. Fighting on two fronts. Force fields will go down, touching off some of the roaches. Adepts are in the natural, but they're targeting the queen instead of the drone. Coming back through with his Immortal Stalker Force. Getting on top of a lot of this. I don't know where he's supposed to navigate, though, now that the Adepts have been cleaned up, the rest of the roaches can come over, and I think can out well down.
Yeah, he kind of trapped himself there, unfortunately. And
Pick up on the Immortal at least. But, I don't know where you go from here!
yeah, this counterattack is going to be pretty scary. I mean, you could use the Warp Prism to maybe harass, but it looks like he's actually retreating the Warp Prism as well. So he's not going to keep these Zerg at his side of the base. And just knowing that he held that pretty solidly, will take a fourth base while doing this counterattack.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, he's retreated his roaches, so I guess he's not going for that counterattack. He's going to just go ahead and tech up.
Okay, well, Disruptor is out. I don't mind it. You've forced a lot of roaches, so it can potentially get some nice connections. He has the Observer to spot the army movement, and with that, the Overseer is going to morph in order to perhaps get the Observer one day.
Alright, looks like Zan is going to go ahead and do an attack on his end, but he's got to be careful because there's a lot of forces by Antis. But he is going to try and... Wait, the War Prison died or something? Oh, no, it's right there.
No, it's there. He lost his Observer, but the Prism is still out. I don't know about this. He does have two Disruptors. If those get money shots, then this battle swings in his favor very quickly. Clips something. Gets a tumor, I think. Gonna get these hallucinations to try and spot the army. And I guess see what tech is out.
Yeah, you will see that there's going to be some Hydralisk morphing or popping out. So he's got to be careful. Oh, he's kind of fighting on creep, so... And Ant is making a flank play here.
Good force field, zoning out the other side of the Zerg force so that he can focus on this right side. The Prism is gonna get some more Stalker. He's gonna push back up towards this third. Another disruptor shot doesn't get the lurker, so whiffs again. All right, rotating over to the fourth. I don't feel like. Well, okay. Now that he's gotten past the bridge, this is actually very scary. Yeah, his disruptors can shoot at that ramp, and he's not actually getting a whole lot of them, but the Blink Stalkers have taken out the hatchery and cornered a lot of these forces that were trying to defend from behind the mineral line. And suddenly, it's looking okay for Zaun.
Yeah, unfortunately for Antis, he actually split some of his roaches to the third base of Zaun. So it kind of had a smaller army to defend against this disruptor stalker army, but that might have been the wrong move there. And now all of a sudden all the lurkers are gone. Still a bunch of disruptor and blink stalkers still alive, and it's looking dicey here at the third base of Antis.
Yeah, he warps in his own, some more stalkers at his third to slow the counterattack, getting most of the drones here at the third base. Disruptors now connecting with what's left of the Zerg forces. Don't know how Antis is supposed to hold this.
Yeah, he had a lot of drones left over, but no army, so now it's kind of snowballing a little, and now all the drones are gonna get sniped off, and this third looks to be going down.
Hydras could potentially get the Prism. Oh, never mind. Prism is running.
If
Prism will
if he can actually group up with a few roaches and hydras, maybe, but there's still two disruptors there.
Yeah, and they can really zone out the army with the disruptors and give Antis some time to get a force field, blink in wherever his stalkers need to be. And he has complete control of the game now.
Yeah. Oh my god, this roach needs to kill. Ah, so close.
I think that would have been a game changer if it had actually killed the third, but as it is, the third is still up. While many probes did fall, it's actually a worker lead for Zaun in a matchup that is usually typical for the Zerg to be up in workers. There's no pylon at this third base, so it does feel a little bit exposed still. And there is some lurkers coming over here, but his observer does see it.
Yeah, the good thing for Antis is that this army, I mean, well, I guess with the disruptors, still pretty scary. I mean,
disruptors can handle the lurkers until they're like upgraded.
Oh wow, leaving some of the lurkers exposed. Oh, what a nice shot there by one of the disruptors. And all of a sudden, Antis got a retreat, and oh, he's gonna just GG.
It's a really interesting build.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
have full vision, and we thought that he researched the wrong thing.
No, right?
Okay. I guess that's a really good deception then. Zaun is like, ye of little faith.
All right, looks like we're gonna go into this next game here. If Zaun wins this next game, he will secure a spot in the semifinals. But I think Antis has something to say about that.
You know, the thing about it being on the balance patch
that does actually impact this particular game is that because he is only threatening with the Adept Shade, at no point can Antis confirm whether or not his opponent has glaives, because he's not committing to the shade, so it never appears orange.
Yeah, and also there's no I guess skin changes that, or at least that I know of, that indicates whether adepts have glaives or not.
Right.
Because
You only see the orange when they finish their shade.
yeah. All right.
There's
So.
no other indicator.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anyhow, in the bottom right or top right, gosh, it is the blue Zerg for Alpha X. It is Antis.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have the red Protoss looking to close out the series with a 2-0 and advance to the semifinals. Can he do it? It is Zound.
So I think that build, like, none of those units are actually impacted from the balance patch, the ones that he was actually using. But the change in the way everything plays out, it fuels his deception. So kind of curious.
Yeah. Oh wow, this map is interesting enough. It has unbuildable plates at the ramp area, not rocks. It's plates. It's been replaced.
Well, as long as there's something there, you can't 3-pylon wall the low ground, which is the point of the obstruction.
Yeah, although it's pretty interesting. I like how these maps are kind of adding some new flavors.
They do have a bug on this map that they need to fix. If you look at the low ground base, kind of in a 4th base position, the rich Vespine geyser cannot be taken. So, as there is a doodad inhibiting.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so that will have to be patched before the map goes live. I'm sure they will, but hopefully the players know about that. If they want that base, they should be wary that it will only provide them with mineral and nothing else.
All right, looks like we have a Stargate opening, and unfortunately for Protoss, there's not a lot of changes in the early game Stargate, but most of the changes comes from the later game with Void Rays and Tempest especially, as well as Mothership. So basically, so basically the Tempest, they move faster, and their shield got increased while their shield got decreased while their armor got increased a little bit.
The Tempest faster?
Yeah, the Tempest moves faster.
Huh. Okay.
And Void Rays, they have a new upgrade in the Fleet Beacon where it gives them faster acceleration as well as movement speed. So you can have it's basically like Banshee speed where you can move faster.
Right. The Flux Veins on the Void Ray seems to give it a little bit more dexterity. I saw Really Rock playing with it as part of his composition, kind of replacing the Tempest in some regards, but a lot more mobility. And I don't know if it was... It's hard to assess like how it was affecting anything, because I only saw like half of one game.
Yeah, I haven't seen much people use that or research the Influx Rain upgrade, so
yeah.
But
that's the other thing. The Void Ray is such a like niche unit previously So like I think a lot of people are going to be hesitant to like figure out where to stick it into a build.
Yeah, exactly. And also the mothership, they got a little bit of changes. Their time warp now affects both air and ground. It used to be just the ground, and then also they're called here. They've been changed to heroic units where they can't get abducted anymore by the Viper.
Wouldn't it be funny if the bug also makes it so that
Oh wait, no, I think they could. Wait, I think it's they can't get abducted and mind controlled by the narrowed parasited by the infestor.
okay.
If I'm
It's like it resets the teleport or something. All right. Taking this third on this map is a little bit odd for the Protoss, I think. It's some distance for that force to travel down this corridor, and I think he's not even going to try. Thank you, 11, for informing the players. Gonna go for this. This is kind of like Stats is 3 Oracle into Immortal Sentry pressure. I don't more or, but he is going to go for that same. Are force fielding the roaches, but there's not quite a wall, and so the roaches are closing the distance as the biles connect with the force fields. And suddenly Zerg is on top of the Protoss. I don't... gonna lose the Prism as well, so this push has been thwarted. He does not have a third base. Oh gosh. Yikes! Oh, did he even save the Immortal?
See, I don't think so. Yeah, no, wasn't saved unfortunately, but well defended there by Antis. I feel like 2 base Protoss did get a little bit slowed down in terms of the meta after the Ravager especially got introduced because they could corrosive bow the War Prism. So
speaking of Ravagers, they're knocking on the front that bile and threatening the cybernetics. Wall is open. The things can't quite get in yet. Oracle is being annoying, and it's actually putting it again. Or considering all of these are like.
I feel like they're just tickling them, but
well, now that there's roaches here, not gonna find that much purchase, but still gets a Ravager for its energy. Oh, maybe 2.
Oh, 11 in the chat saying last time I played on this map, it screwed me because I didn't know Sad Day. So I guess he didn't know about the Vespine and then.
Yeah. I think someone posted it on Twitter and then forget. Oh, Ling's picking off the probe.
Yeah, although I feel this is like a fake third because it looks like he's going for one last big attack.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's just so much Zerg though. Zerg is more than happy to give this up and just like take a unlosable fight somewhere else. Antis is going to back over, chase this out. Well, he's decided he only needs mineral from his base anyway. Gets on top of the stalkers with his roaches. Ravager breaks the force field, and there's just this immortal left, or 2 immortals left in terms of real DPS. One is going to fall in the retreat. Lings are closing the distance, trying to get that one actually, but the Protoss is just losing too many minutes. Throughout the course of this, his attack didn't really pay out, and I mean, yes, he has a third base, but he's against a 5-base Zerg, and yes, he can make disruptors against the Roach Ravager. Oh, he's actually gonna go get Colossi Lings, I guess.
And on top of that, his upgrades are just far more ahead. I mean, there's not even a forge out in the map for
Oh,
Zhao to research it. But oh,
there's a
nice.
spire.
Huh?
There's a spire coming down.
Yeah.
So corruptors could be on the field to deal with as well.
Yeah, just everything ahead for Antis at this point.
This Oracle though has done so much.
Oh yes, 15 kills thus far. Not too
Between
shabby.
The drones, the Ling, the Ravagers. It's made quite a name for itself.
Yeah, but not as much as Bob.
Alright, he does have a wall at his third base for the mineral line and a shield battery. His Colossus is out. He's gonna get a second one. Thermal Lance is nearly complete. I mean, he's navigated this into something playable somehow. I mean, he looked pretty dead a moment ago, and now he does have some substance to his army. I just don't know how he gets into a good late game from here. Or another attack. Matter.
Yeah, I mean the Greater Spire is halfway done. Once
Where is this Immortal going? Or Colossus going? Oh, it's joining the army. Okay. Okay. Actually, 3 Colossi can push. So, as he takes his 4th, he does set up for a push that it does have to be respected, I think.
yeah, and it's actually before these Greater Spire timing, so this might actually be a great timing attack.
Okay, he's not going to be able to establish this 4th base as things are coming. He does have sentries, so can force field camp. And okay, he's not going to lose his prism. Okay, this is looking good. He has more stalkers coming in to protect his Colossi. The Banelings are morphing. They do have speed. There are corruptors out, but not in high enough number to kill the Colossi without dying to the stalkers. So he needs some time, and he's likely to lose this hatch as well. Force fields are going to block off some of forces. Another set of get in. Zaun is making what looked desperate. He's making something of it. I don't think he's making enough though. And Antis will hold and take the game.
Alright, so well done there by Antis. Nice defense. Was able to hold off that timing push really well. And I gotta say, throughout the whole night, Antis has been just on top of the flanks. His flank game is just really good. Yeah, especially his series against Masa, where you got multiple flanks throughout that series, and then once again showing this game with that last push, doing that one last flank to clean up the Protoss army there.
I feel like that's one of the strengths of a good defensive Zerg.
Oh yeah, for sure. But then it's also it's a testament to the Zerg because, setting up the flank, is easy, but executing it's hard. You got to make sure your army is going in at like around the same time. Because you don't want your one half of your army to go in and then the other is kind of lagging behind. So
yeah. And with things like force fields, that can mess up the timing too. All right, spawning in the upper right, perhaps for the last time tonight, perhaps not. It is the Blue Zerg Alpha X Antis.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have the red Protoss player, also potentially playing for the last time. It is Sound.
Okay, so this map we are familiar with already. Oh, well, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna not talk about that and talk about the fact that we have a gate forge on the high ground.
Finally, a forge appearance. Oh wow, he's actually gonna full wall off with the cybernetic core as well.
Yeah, I think that's correct in this scenario. He's going for a parting style. He's gonna use minerals. It's okay. That does count. Yes. Okay. Oh, he trapped his. He has another one, but
oh my god, he does not want to lose this probe, as this is the only probe out in the map besides that trapped probe there.
right.
If this probe dies, this cheese fails, or at least he not gonna get the
Okay.
proxies.
He has to drop his robo. Okay, there he goes. Like, that's one of the major things about this build is or this version of Cat. Your robo does not go down on time. It will be a solid minute before your robo does go down because the creep comes out and blocks the robo position. As it is, the robo is on time, and now I am not sure there is a way to shy of a really good pull. Like, delayed drone pulls can work pretty well with like Ravager files on, but the thing is there's still 2 low ground cannons in range of the high ground, so an immortal is being started and he can work away at the high ground static defense. Job picking off the shield battery and gonna try and work on the stacked infrastructure with the vials. Should get the shield battery and might even get the pylon. If he gets the pylon, that's actually huge. The immortal is going to come up and bat this. Both pylons are on top of each other. These vials are double. One pylon does fall, and the immortal is going to clear 2 of the Ravagers. Good dodge for the bile with the immortal, but it still connects with 1 pylon. And another is on the way. Not sure what he was shooting at. But
Are you shooting at the
he
pylon?
the pylon to free his probe. Okay.
Yeah, because the other probe actually died.
Right.
So he needs to make some structures in order to keep this cheese from continuing.
Alright, Lings do get the last probe, so there's no more infrastructure available here. And with the second immortal though, there's still a considerable amount of DPS. There wasn't a shield battery to save that immortal, neither a prism. There will be a prism in a moment, but there's only 1 shield battery that's kind of away from the ramp, so the immortal cannot contend the high ground anymore. So Antis has actually managed to clear the high ground. between that and the lack of there being a probe on the Zerg side of the map, this is looking okay. He's not at the woods yet, but he's gotten to a decent position.
Ooh.
His queen count is also starting to rack up, which is very important when it comes to batting away the prism itself. There are now 2 immortals, which is a lot of DPS. Okay, he's shooed them away again. And the immortals do come back. There's not enough shield battery, as he did get both probes. So he does not have the ability to probe glitch out because building placement is positioned wrong for that. His gateway needed to have started on the other side. Then he... But, yeah, actually, that complicates this a lot. He's gonna have to find a way to transition from here at home. He's gonna get 3 gateways and warp tech. Okay. I don't think he needs this, but why not? I mean, it is representative of some form of tech. Why are you killing your gateway when you can kill your forge to get out?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
You want gateways. That represents production.
Exactly.
Ah. Okay.
By the way, my apologies. I did not catch it, but the twins did actually snipe out the warp prism, so the warp prism is gone. But he does have another robotics facility, so he will be able to remake it.
Getting the warp prism. Oh my. Here comes the Nidus. What I was going to say is that the warp prism removes all pressure and opens up potential for counterattack, and we are going to just hitting a lot faster than I... Okay. Files, breaking force fields, landing on static defense, things that do not move. I'm gonna run away though. The immortal count is high enough that he doesn't feel he needs to stick around. Alright, patrol probe looking for a Nidus in the main. I don't think there's nothing to give vision for that, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, so this is where I guess the Nidus change kind of comes into play, where you can't really queue up a Nidus immediately right after the first Nidus. You gotta wait 14 seconds, and I think that's definitely gonna help against for other races, such as I guess even in ZVZ, where you don't have to like immediately worry about another Nidus popping up in somewhere else.
He is gonna send the double immortal drop out again. He does have the observer still here. The overseer is in range of it, but for the time being, gonna be ignored. As pressure is at the third base. Okay, not finding much damage with the immortals, just applying pressure. Don't really know where he's going to navigate. He did get his natural up, and he is adding a gateway to add in makeup for the one that he killed.
Oh, that was a little bit of a mismark there. Loses one immortal to the corrosive bios, and looks like Zaun. Oh wow, he's actually going for an attack right when the Nidus play is commencing here. You might actually see a little weird scenario.
It may force a recall. These they see that the Ling is there and they can infer the Nidus. They heard the noise. But there's a lot of pressure on the Zerg's third, so nothing has come out of the Nidus just yet. Observer is taking a couple queen shots. And a pair of roaches and a Ling are going to go into. But force fields are going to trap a queen and a Ling or some other unit. Warpins at home are going to bat back the meager counterattack and try to clear the Nidus. Observer does fall to the Queen and Overseer, and the Nidus has also been cleaned up. A lot of posturing right now from both these.
Yeah, alright, looks like Antis is ready to go in. Ooh, just barely dodges the corrosive bow, and all the Lings actually goes down. There's a bunch of roaches and Ravagers still left out. Okay, more Lings pop up. There are 4 total Immortals. That is a lot of punch to this Protoss army. Does not want to lose the War Prism. Oh, it's not so close. And that cleans it up. It's not looking good for Zhang. He's down 40 total supply, or as Todd likes to say, supply.
Yeah, I mean, this game, he's been on the... He started out really strong. But then a couple minor things here and there, and then suddenly he's just having to recover very dangerous position.
Yeah, I feel like one of the main mistakes was trapping that initial probe, because for the longest time, after his second probe died, he couldn't make another. He couldn't continue creating buildings at the top until he killed the pylon and freed up the probe. So I feel that's one of the main mistakes during that cheese.
Yeah, I think another thing that compounds that is that his gateway was on the other side, so he couldn't glitch out either. So like one of the ways to save having a trap probe is to just immediately glitch out, and so like it's the same kind of problem compounding itself, is that you don't have a way to spend your minerals, as it were.
Yeah.
On top of that, Antis did a really good job prioritizing killing active probes. So he kind of forced that error in some regard.
Oh, looks like a little bit of a Zergling run by, but does gets catched by the Protoss army. Looks like there's an Overseer morphed here to potentially put a Nidus while this attack is commencing. These Colossus doesn't want to get catch in the open wide area, so gotta be careful about that, because right now he cannot afford to lose major armies, major units such as the Colossus.
I want to say Hero played a certain Colossus style on this map with some surprising success. I don't remember who he was playing against though. But I want to say he won, in spite of how crazy of the game was. And I think a lot of people feel that this map... Okay, we are gonna see force fields into the Bane and Ravager force. The Banes don't have speed, but now they do. They didn't have speed at the start of this and were dying rather quickly, but now that Bane speed has... Okay, Antis woken up.
Yeah, just too much for Antis on the ground. And GG, that means Antis will advance to the semifinals. Congrats to him. At least he can secures at the minimum $15 or $20 prize pool. Let me go ahead and just double check once more. Yeah, I think that is $20. Yeah, $20 minimum. And but Zound, luckily, is not out of it yet. Still, he's gonna go ahead and advance to the ace match where he will face Masa. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, he will face Masa for the last spot to see who will advance to the semifinals.
I feel like, well, okay. I'm a little bit conflicted here. So, the build he did on Ephemeron really suited the map Ephemeron. But I feel like if he was going to Cannon Rush, of the maps that he had, Ephemeron was probably the better of the options.
Oh, this is the wrong channel. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Bye-bye, Buffalo.
Some part of me feels like he just did that on purpose as a troll.
He wants a ban. That's what it is.
Yeah. He's working for it.
Or perhaps he wants to be locked away in the mental ward again.
Well, to be fair, I guess buffaloes can get lost sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I don't think they have the... I mean, they're migratory animals as it is.
Yeah,
right? So
they just wander around, and sometimes they wander into places that they shouldn't be.
Yeah. And then some person with a rifle decides that that buffalo doesn't belong there, and
oh no, poor buffalo.
Oh man.
By the
Well,
way,
you got what you asked for. You were saying that we hadn't seen a Cannon Rush, and now we have seen a Cannon Rush.
Yes, I love it. Even though it did not succeed, it was still great to watch.
Exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if that's a bad map for cannons, it was exciting.
Yeah, and I think it was fate.
He almost made it work.
Almost. Yeah, it was almost successful. It's looking good for a period of time.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I think fate has it that we had our first Cannon Rush in this whole tournament while you're here.
Yeah, the parting style Cannon Rush is I mean, he got it matched up against what he wanted, right? Like you're hoping for a hatch first when you do that. So it just, the rest of it didn't play out as getting the trapped probes and, you know, just the details. Alrighty, another cheeser in the top left as the red Terran. It is Alpha X's Masa.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have our blue Protoss player. He is Zound.
Okay, I don't see any probes going across the map or SCVs going across the map, so I'm going to take a moment to get a drink.
Alright, no problem. War Buffy in the chat saying, is there a delay? Yes, there is a 1 minute delay. So that is probably why your little voice chat interference came a minute later in the stream. But anyhow, we do see a non-cannon build. Of course, it is more difficult to cannon rush a Terran, of course, so you don't really see that as much, especially in the higher levels. Although you will occasionally see it from maybe Haas, as he is a frequent cannon user. But anyhow, we do see a probe entering Masa base. We'll scout around, see that there is no proxies, as we did see Masa proxy in the other series, but no proxy this time around. We'll see no second gas as well, so can safely assume that there is going to be a command center being placed down. Alright. Reactor on the way, and I did believe Zam did scout that. Let's see. Yep, he did scout that.
Did he skip his Reaper?
Huh? Oh, I don't think he... Wait, did he get a Reaper? I don't
I
think...
don't think so.
Yeah, I think he just made a Marine.
Okay, so he... I guess what this means is he'll have the Hellions fast.
Yeah, so I think it would be good for Zam to start walling off his natural with some buildings so that he can prevent those Hellion run-bys.
Yeah, so 50 extra gas. For the same timing, as it were. Can get all of this started just slightly faster, and it's actually going from mines. So
Yeah, I think the idea will probably be to load the Widow Mine into the medevac and then drop while the Hellion harass is going on.
yeah.
So it would definitely behoove him to start walling off the natural with some gateways or something, which it looks like he is because he's throwing a pylon down there.
I'm really not sure what this is, 'cause now he's getting the tech lab. And like at first it looked like he just was skipping the Reaper to get the fast
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know. Okay, so I guess it's a 6 Marine mine drop, and then I don't know what else.
Or maybe it's just a tank Marine push.
Oh, maybe. And then the mine is for safety. Yeah, I guess so. I guess the medevac will the tank. Or not.
And if this tank push commences and actually siege up his natural, is 2 gateways are actually gonna be open to attack.
Yeah, he's also brought 2 SCVs, so get a bunker up if he really wants. I don't know where you would put it right now. Oh, he's gonna abuse the fact that his opponent and he never built a Reaper. Cute, cute. Okay, the bunker is going to protect the tank. Interesting. Adepts are coming over, but they're gonna have to take a long way around to Shade. They will still complete, and the lift on the tank is going to kill it eventually. Okay. Zaun is okay. He's defended quite nicely, I must say.
Yeah, his defensive play is just so strong. It's just really, really awesome to see. Oh, but it looks like Liberator is going to go ahead into the third base, maybe? But actually he's preoccupied with the Phoenix harass. Forgetting to siege, yeah, siege is Liberator, unfortunately.
And now there's Phoenix to zone this away. Still gonna try and siege, and I don't find anything. Well, no, just kidding.
All right.
Okay.
Charge is on the way for Zaun, so that means he's going to go ahead and possibly go for a Phoenix charge lot kind of plan.
Yeah. Okay.
And we know this is kind of like old school.
Yeah. I want to say that the patch might bring back like a Phoenix Adept, but it would be even more snowbally than it was before. Like, you take one good fight and everything crumbles for the Terran very fast. You take one bad fight and everything crumbles for you very fast.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So I think there's a little more sustain with the Charge Lot version, or Bullet Out Phoenix. Putting some damage on this, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, unfortunately for Phoenix, they don't really have a lot of pack in their punch in terms of attack damage, so...
There are no missile turret here?
Nope, no missile turrets it seems. And this Oracle is going to have a heyday here. But the real attack is coming across the map for Masa.
And he used some of his energy from the Phoenixes, so he may not... Well, he might have still wanted it for the...
Yeah, I think the main thing is just to get the medevacs on the retreat here. A lot of Widow Mines connecting with those charge lots, but Zan just has a lot more warpings.
Yeah, I guess he's fine in the end.
Alright, Blink is about to be finished.
I don't know where Masa is supposed to go from here. This is...
Yeah, he only has a few bow units, and there's not even a medevac, or one medevac. But that's just not enough as the Phoenix lift a bunch of the army, and this is gonna be a walkover possibly. One more warping may be needed.
Oracle is flying into the main. Well, okay. Irrelevant. Down wins the fight and the game.
Alright, there. Well done by Zan. Once again, showing off his defensive play. And was able to make that Phoenix gateway timing push work, or counterattack work. And now he's just one game away from advancing to the semifinals. Masa, he is playing for his tournament life. We'll see if he can push it to a third and final game. And the next game will be on Ephemeron.
I don't know about this. I feel like stylistically Masa is having a hard time versus, like, you have such a aggressive player in Masa, and then you have such a defensive player in Zaun for this matchup. And I don't think that's going well for our blue Terran.
Well, maybe maybe you can pull out some cheeses once again and maybe do a proxy Rex.
I don't know. He seemed pretty on top of the proxies after the first game. Like, the first game, it looked close. And then the second game, it looked like he just adjusted everything. Well, he appears to be sending out SCVs again. So, spawning in the top left as the blue Terran. For Alpha X, for Canada, it is Masa.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have the red Protoss player. He's one game away from closing out the series and advancing to the semifinals. Can he do it? It is Zaun. So I think it's safe to say that Bob has returned from his hibernation.
Yeah. He had to be called out of retirement. They said that there was still work to be done. And I actually like this particular variation a lot coming out of Masa. Because what's going to happen is Zaun is going to send his probe. And he's going to see a Rax at home and a Gas at home. He's going to assume, oh, this is a standard game. Then, suddenly, either a bunch of Reapers or a bunch of Marauders are going to show up at his base. And he's going to be like, wait, what? Because this is very difficult to scout. It looks very standard to the probe scout, so Zaun is not going to be able to take those defensive steps that he was taking before.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure about this supply depot. I think that kind of gives it away a little bit. I would have liked him to fake the command center and then have him think that it was a one barracks CC opening. But yeah, this tech lab has been completed and the Marauder is on the way. Concussion shells being researched, and we'll see if what Zaun does in his defense. He doesn't have a pylon at the natural, so he can't mix any shield batteries. So I feel like this next is going to be even more under more threat, as there is no. I mean, he's going to have to engage at the ramp area instead of the bottom area, I feel.
Yeah, he's waiting for the Marines from home to catch up a little bit, and the Adept is going to see this now. The SCV is going to try and build the bunker on the low ground, and it provides cover. Probes are being pulled, and the Adept can now target Bob. Bob is dead. To come back another time.
Well, he does have stepbrothers and stepsisters to take his place, so...
Yes. So they will fall in line, take over for him, and this natural is certain.
Oh, interesting response here, actually. He's going for a Void Ray.
Yeah.
You don't see this every day.
Huh. I don't know about this. I feel like... Well, I guess it's his best option, right? Defensively, the Void Ray is to represent DPS against the Marauders than an Oracle, a Phoenix. So, like, if he's gonna build a Stargate, he can deal with Marauders. Void Ray does make the most sense. It's just not gonna serve him a lot of function after he clears Contain.
Yeah, I mean, he's only working off 2 gateways, so it's gonna take him a while to break this natural here, especially with the additional bunkers going up. And the one thing
he's trying to cut off the reinforcements a little bit, but this is looking pretty good for Masa. He hasn't started an expansion at home yet. I'm not familiar with how his cheese plays out to say whether he should or should not have started it yet, but it would be nice.
Yeah, although, I don't know, it's still okay, because Zaun is definitely not getting his second base anytime soon, so...
This is true.
Yeah.
It looked like he was thinking about it, but then decided to add these 2 more racks. He's gonna have the Cyclone, and I like that in this scenario because he can shut down a lot of different air units with that. Like the Void Ray that's trying to counterattack, and probably the Oracle as well.
Ooh, some clutch repair there on the Cyclone to defend against the Oracle, and the Oracle does go down.
Yeah, so Cyclones, they're kind of situational against wind-based air units. But in this case, playing out really nicely. Schematically align these bunkers, and that should allow him to break this contain eventually. Has to work through the Marines first. But yeah, okay, he can retake his natural eventually. The command center is halfway done on location, but it is halfway done. And the Nexus is going to start now. So Masa is going to have a sizable worker advantage for portion of this game, and he's just gonna go home and turtle. He's done enough damage. He's got his production online. He just wants to secure his natural so that he doesn't die. And from there, he should be in a very commanding position.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually playing it super safely, throwing down 2 additional bunkers, even though I don't think he necessarily need to. But I think he just wants to make sure that he doesn't die to any counterattack and have his Banshee do any type of harass that can get done.
Yeah, Blink is going to be the TC tech.
Oh wait, you know what? Come to think of it, his Orgo went down. This is actually no detection, and the cloak is about to be done. Wow. This could actually spell a really big disaster for Zaun here.
He is making another orb, but it's already here.
Ooh, he's might have been a bit mistaken. Okay, now his cloak is just finished. He's gonna get some probes for this. Ooh, this is just doing so much damage. Oracle finally comes out, but there's another. I think there's another Banshee. Yeah, there's another Banshee on the way as well.
Yeah, got like 6 or 7 probes there, and there is a shield battery in the main, and the natural one's actually not completed yet. As the Banshee in, there's no energy for the Revelation just yet. The shield battery does complete, but the Banshee does get away with 3 probe kills. So I definitely think these Banshees have paid for themselves and further extended Masa's worker lead.
Yeah, I mean, as a Terran, being ahead by that many workers, on top of that with the Muse, throwing down 2 Muse in the natural, that is going to be a lot of economy for Masa.
Stalkers are going to blink up into the main, and he does have a spawn location, so he will be able to get at least 1 add-on, and then he will have to back out as the marine count is quite high. 3rd base was scouted, being constructed in the main, so he is aware of the state of the game and how behind he is after the initial cheese. I think he killed the Banshee.
Yeah, he killed the Banshee with the Void Ray. But oh my gosh, pretty much all the Stalkers get flanked and taken out, and that is GG. Masa will even up the series 1-1.
Yeah. I definitely think that the second Rax proxied, if you have a good direction you want to take it from there, can be very strong, because your Protoss opponent is going to scout and just be in the dark for a little bit longer than normal, and you don't have to commit a super amount more. Where you take it and how you want to control the pace of that, there's a number of options.
Alrighty, World of Sleepers will be the last map of tonight. This is going to be the last game as well, to determine the last player and the last participant moving on to the next round. Let's go ahead and introduce our players.
Spawning at the 2 o'clock position, it is the Canadian Masa.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have our red Protoss. It is Zaun. Alright, so after a long day of Home Story Cup, a long day of Alpha Scrims Special Group B, we are here down to our last game to close out the night. both players looking to close it out, and actually we have a proxy Rax from Masa. It's not an actual proxy Rax. It's kind of like a fake proxy on his side of the map.
Yeah, this is again a good play to his image from the way he's played the previous series as well as the last game. It's like, oh, it's another proxy, and really proxies are not as strong on this map unless you were to go Reaper, but even then Reaper can be walled out, so I don't really think that there's a good proxy option for such a large map. And Protoss is just not going to know about any of this for some time. Even going into the factory with it being proxied at the fake proxy location. Marine comes over from the proxy. I don't know about that decision, but okay. I feel like... I feel like showing the Marine reveals that proxy is at home. But he also needs to kill the probe. So it's like, what is the correct decision here? I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like actually Masa gonna go for a 1-1-1 build. I'm gonna think and suspect it is gonna be a tank push timing.
Okay. Yeah, this is effectively it's a factory. It just looks really strange to the pro.
Yeah. And I wonder if Masa is gonna go for a medevac to help support his Marines, or if he's gonna actually go for a Liberator to help siege behind the siege tank. If a Terran can siege up at the
Perhaps we'll get both.
Yeah, possible.
Well, I think he's gonna lift the factory, not the barracks.
Oh, okay. So no, he's not going for a tank push. He's gonna go for a Banshee, a quick Banshee play with Cloak. All right, he just went for the CC, so I guess definitely not a tank push.
I don't know what this is either. This is the thing when you watched Masa. What build is this? I don't know. What build is that? I don't know either. Like,
yes.
You can talk about the opener, and that's...
There's so many different builds.
Yeah, I wonder how much Masa and Uzi Cody interact with each other.
Oh yeah, Uzi one of our other main Terran players in the roster,
And also an Orthodox Terran.
Well, the good thing for Zhang is that he actually opened up with a Robo, so you will have at least one observer out. He might actually need to recall it because it's actually out in the middle of the map. But he does have shield batteries set up, so that should give him enough time to bring back the observer. And oh, actually, we're just...
That's unfortunate. He did take a shot at the probes with his Banshee, so he revealed his hand, as it were.
Yeah, and that is not good for Masa, because he kind of delayed his economy in order to get the faster Banshee, and he's not even gonna do too much damage. But actually, he's gonna join up with the second Banshee and might go for a follow-up back into the natural, hopefully to get some pros. But already 2 stalkers and a observer there to defend.
Yeah, it's not looking ideal for Masa. He's gonna back off, perhaps swing around to the main. There isn't like blink or anything, so it could be worse. He still has more maneuverability in the Banshees than, and they are not likely to get caught unless they run out of Cloak in an awkward position. But there's this frontal push coming from Zaun. He's decided to be the aggressor. There are 2 tanks and a bunker, though he could drop directly on kind of going for them. The repair is there for a moment, but with 2 immortals it still falls very quickly. The bunker also does, and suddenly I think Masa is in trouble.
Oh yeah, all the tanks are gone. 2 immortals still left over. The Warp Prism still not dead yet, and he could just micro this back and forth, even warping some additional units if he wants to. And he's gonna either way lose a lot of SCVs.
Yeah, the 2 immortals are still standing strong, putting in more damage, and they can rotate around to the main and continue the harass. I don't know what Masa is supposed to do, because he doesn't really have the anti-air to contest the...
Oh, well, with the Stim Marines, I think he should be okay. And you know what? After all this, he's still ahead in workers with the Dirt CC.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Zaun actually did not make a Dirt Nexus, and I think he just committed a lot to this attack. He needed to get a bit more done, and although he did get a good amount, Masa was able to kind of survive with that SCV pull.
Yeah, okay. The Banshees actually must have found some damage, because they have 8 and 11 kills between them.
Ah, yeah. Wait, are they still alive? Yeah, okay, yeah. So they probably circumvented into the main base and got some kills. That's how come Zaun probably has not a lot of workers.
With the Viking out, now the Prism has to leave. So suddenly he has and is in a looking to be in a very comfortable position. He still has his own pin, and there's no third for the Protoss. Yes, Blink will be done momentarily, and Charge is behind that, but what economy does he have to speak of, really?
Yeah, and right now Terran player is actually researching 1-1, and still no forge out for Zaun, so he's gonna be behind in upgrades and also the economy as well.
Yeah, he is getting his going up to 6 gateways and taking his 3rd base, so he's gonna look to apply some more pressure. But this mine drop could make him more all in than he intended to be for the 2nd time this game.
Right, some blink harass there. I'm gonna try to get as much damage as you can. There are 3 immortals in this army, so that actually packs a punch. But while we are looking at this little potential skirmish here out in the third base, there is a Widow Mine drop that might not get caught.
Good reaction. Probes are pulled away.
Yeah, and actually there's no observer with the army, so this Banshee will force Zaun to back off.
Yeah, I got picked off from the scan.
Ah, okay, I see.
Alright, the mines have been mostly dealt with. There's still one on the edge of the Protoss base trying to hide, but it will die all the same. And alrighty, the game has calmed down for a moment, both sides stabilizing. A little bit more of annoyance at the third, but it's alright. Dealt with.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that little medevac with the one Widow Mine between the third and the second. Oh, there we go. Oh wow, the reaction time of Zaun is really good, but the big attack is coming out in the middle from Masa. And what does Zaun have? He does still have the 3 immortals, but not a lot of buffer in terms of charge lot. He only has a bunch of stalkers, which is not good.
2 adepts are going into the Terran third, but some bio is going to...
Oh.
Doom drop going into the main. I think Protoss is pretty out of position for this.
Yeah, but
Unpower one of the gateways to start things off.
Storm is about to finish. It does finish. Does he have enough
They're off
energy?
with flags. Scanning for the observer, I guess, and I can't see what's under the medevac anymore.
All right there. Well defended. Zound didn't lose too much. I think he only lost like a few gateways or so, but his High Templar are still intact. His Robo is still intact. I'm just afraid that at a certain point the upgrade is going to get too overwhelming. 2-2 on the way for Masa, but still, again, no forge out yet for Zound. He's still stuck at 1-0-0.
Yeah, he's getting 2 more gateways, and I guess he has to remake his cybernetics core at some point. If he wants. Ever. I mean, he can just make High Templar endlessly, and technically he can deal with almost everything.
He finally throwing down the cybernetic core. But
it dawned on him.
Yeah, I think right now I feel like maybe it will be best for him to just start making disruptors instead, because you're not gonna catch up on the upgrades anytime soon. So might as well go for disruptor, where you kind of gauge the effect of the massive upgrade that Masa will have soon.
Sure.
And plus, he's going for Ghost. He's even getting the Ghost upgrade that will increase the EMP range or diameter radius. But I don't think. Oh.
So many observers have died this game.
Oh, but look at the beautiful spread there by Masa. It's gonna go ahead and actually EMP going down on the High Templar. So only one storm is available, and the whole rest of the bow comes in, cleans up the rest, and Masa will advance to the semifinals.
Ooh, excellent last game to close that out. Also really adjusting to Zound's play throughout the course of their 2 series.
Yeah, for sure. And also well defended. Almost looked really scary for a sec, but was able to defend that push, the Mortal War Prism push, pulling the SCVs to help buffer, and was able to get some damage with those Banshees at the same time, and just out macro Zound at that point. But yeah, GG's everybody. Boy, what a great Group B here. And we have our final 4 set for the semifinals. Looks like I don't think the Wikipedia page has been updated yet, but as you can see, Cham and Australia in the semifinals already, and then of course Antis and Masa advancing to as well. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Remember guys, there is the semifinals and finals that will be taking place on Sunday 9 p.m. Eastern time here at the Alpha X SC2 channel, Twitch channel. If you want to get notified, you can just follow us, give us a follow. And also one last thank you to, Into the Best for the follow as well, although it was 45 minutes ago. And Zeno, you have any last words before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you 11 for adminning tonight as well as yesterday and tomorrow, of course. Thank you all to the viewers and the followers throughout the night. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and wherever you are. And we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, or I guess technically today if you're in Eastern time. That is your friendly neighborhood puppy dog Snoopy, as well as Zeno Dactyl, signing out. See you guys.
Nuclear missile ready.